Well, Mr. Giwa, if I could just ask, I mean, yes, you quoted the Establishment of Security Agencies Act, and if you look at 3C, where a lot of people have highlighted, well, 3C says the State Security Service shall be charged with responsibility for C, such other responsibilities affecting internal security within Nigeria as the National Assembly or the President, as the case may be, may deem necessary. We have those who have interpreted this as saying, if people perceive injustice in a particular matter in court, it has a potential of sparking off all sorts of reactions, including riots, will, of course, many think, can always affect the internal security of a country. And to that extent, the SSS may, as the President deems fit, move in this matter.
Well, Chamberlain, that's an interesting one. Firstly, I must state that in interpretation of a statute, we have what we call the liberal interpretation. And Dallon, in looking at the power of agency, says, and I quote, he said, in construing whether an agency created by a statute has carried out its function within the power, you must look at one, the express word used by the statute, the express word. Two, if the action taken is incidental to the express word used, and thirdly, if the action is to accomplish the express word used. The express word used is crime against internal security. Now, looking at paragraph 3C, it said the charge with responsibility that the President or the National Assembly would deem necessary. The first point is this: on the allegation of corruption, bribery, and professional misconduct, I am taking the word of the DSS by Galba Abdullahi those were the charges or the offense within which they acted and they raided the houses of the judiciary. For you to take corruption, bribery, and professional misconduct as a crime against internal security of Nigeria, firstly, for the President to invoke that section, that particular crime, such as corruption, bribery, and professional misconduct, must have been resolved through an official gazette by the presidency. And that is, the President will say, for example, this issue of bribery, corruption has eaten deep into this country. And we are, as executive, we have resolved to say that the issue of corruption, bribery, is now a crime that is threatening internal security. Or like the National Assembly, if you look at the word used, the President, who is the head of the executive, and the National Assembly, which is the legislation. So the legislation must also pass by way of resolution that corruption or any other offense can fall into any crime that is against internal security. So it cannot be at the whims and caprices.
Let me comment here,
so if tomorrow
we're running out of time,
most Nigerians
Mr. Giwa
don't have a driving license.
Mr. Giwa, let me quickly put this out so that for clarification's sake, you started off by saying that you were called and you raced to the home of one of these judges, and you used the word. Permit me, I want to be clear, I heard you well. You did say you saw some DSS thugs. Was that what you said?
No, I said we saw DSS with masks. That we thought that they were protecting the residents of those premises.
So
and what I also said was that they did it the way and manner they came was as if they were expecting resistance from thugs or armed men.
Does that really matter?
Suleiman, if I'm coming to Channel to arrest you, for example, for any offense, and I come with an I come with a tank, and I'm mounting it in front of Channels in Lagos, and I started talking from the mic. Ladies and gentlemen, Channel Television, I want Suleiman out. Suleiman has committed an offense of corruption, or
it really doesn't follow, because it doesn't follow. If we look at it logically, I understand where you headed.
Nobody.
It doesn't follow if you look at it, because if you say someone placed a call to you at the dead of the night at 2 a.m. and you walked up to that place at 2 a.m. and from your account you were trying to ask some of these people why they were there, it means that they were civil, because ordinarily if you pop up in someone's home at 2 a.m. when they were carrying out their official duty, definitely no one would listen to you. But if you could put a question out to these people, it then means that the people you met there were actually civil.
No, we are not even, Suleiman, let us not narrow it to civility by the virtue of the fact that they reacted. They are not ions. They are human beings and they have feelings. When people were, they were about more than, of course it was late. If you could count, you could find out that we discovered that there were more than 20. So people were just having, having stayed there for some time because some other persons were there before some of us came in. We were trying to, you just go close to one of them and say, excuse me, what's really happening? It was not an official engagement. It was not an official discussion. You just have to ask, excuse me, is there anything wrong? What is the problem? So that was the nature of the conversation. It was not a direct conversation that, oh, yes, this is who we are. No. It's not, most of them, of course, with serious, harms with them and all of that. So some of us just tried to muster some courage to just ask one or two questions so that let us even know if we ourselves we are saved. That was the purpose. So in terms of being civil, that is overstretching civility. I mean, if you cannot take that as being civil. I mean, if you want to arrest people like that, I mean, it is just out of it. It cannot, by any definition, be captured as being civil. So of course they themselves agree with the general opinion that the way and manner they did, raid the houses of these persons was just, to me, it was something deliberate and targeted at intimidating this person. And I must tell you, it is targeted at intimidating the judiciary.
So
I can tell you for sure.
You look forward to how these cases will definitely proceed in a court of law, don't you?
Yes, we are going to challenge that to see if the DSS, do have the power. Like I said, if you look at the...
I'm afraid that we don't have a lot of time, but, I'm sure that we'll bring you here in subsequent days. Victor Giwa is a national coordinator, advocates for people's rights and justice, and principal partner of Victor Giwa and Associates. Thank you for coming on Sunrise Daily.
Yeah, thank you.